I wanted to get into just go over. I only have like talking points on one, but if you have talking points on any of them, we can bring them up. But the Pro
Sure.
Tour end of season awards, I believe all have been announced, but mainly the Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, and Most Improved. I wanted to go over those really quick. We talked about Rookie of the Year, I think, last week a little bit, but Isaac Robinson, MPO, Emily Beach, FPO, both make sense to me.
Yep.
I didn't really have
Isaac
any.
Robinson was probably one of the top guys on tour last year. So the fact that that was considered his rookie season makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, Most Improved, FPO, Valerie Mandujano makes perfect sense. She had a great season and went from 0 wins to 5th on tour with 3 wins. Now, Gannon Buhr, I disagree with. I don't think Gannon Buhr was the most improved.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with most improved. Most improved for disc golf. How do we want to award that, right? Because most improved in other sports, you never see it go to a top person.
Yeah.
Right? Like if someone was like the 9th best, let's say the 9th best NBA player, and they end up becoming the 2nd best NBA player. Like 9th best is so good that because they're the second, like that's not a huge jump. Like they're not in the grand scheme of things. Yes, that is a huge jump, but in the eyes of the viewers, like you're going to think of most improved as someone that was like a 6 man, like a bench guy, or like in football, someone that came off the bench or whatever. And then all of a sudden is just like putting up ridiculous numbers. Like that's going to be most improved. So
like Simon.
Well, that's another interesting one is can most improved go to also, and I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here. Can most improved go to someone that was really, really freaking good at one point, kind of fell off, and then got to being really freaking good again?
But how good is really freaking good? He has
Simon,
2 tour wins ever. One was in 2015, one was in 2018. And then he has 4 this year.
No, I know. I'm throwing things out there. Like let's say
because Simon to me was most improved, and I don't think there's an argument.
Do you think Ricky could ever win most improved?
No.
Okay, because he's won too much already. Because what if he has 3 seasons? What if he has the next 3 seasons where he's missing cash? His best finishes are like 15th. Obviously, these are hypotheticals, but like, what if he just has 3 seasons in a row where he's just like an average guy, like one of those top 20 guys on tour. And then coming into his 4th season, he has a season like he did this year where he starts winning. Is he now most improved?
Yeah. No. But I think a key thing here is this is one of the first years we've have a deep field. So like if you're looking at average finish and stuff like that, the stat of average finish right now is so skewed because average finish this year versus last year, like they're hard to compare. Even if you go like for Ricky, if you were to go like 3 years ago to now, like Ricky's career arc, like if you look at the field 3 years ago, we were just talking about like New World and stuff. Like it's a different sport, it's a different game.
Yes.
So I think that's why right now you can go with like a Simon. You can't even make an argument for a Gannon who won it. You can make arguments for those players who are top guys just because like right now that improvement arc is there versus as the field gets deeper, then like someone who's like consistently in the top 20, that's way more impressive than like 2 years ago. If you're in the top 20, like it's not that impressive. And now you're in the top 10. That's a big jump versus like in the future, it's probably going to be someone who's like from like 60th, 50th, maybe like barely on tour.
Because I was going to say like
now they're in the top 20.
Like a Chandler Kramer, Aaron Gossage, those type of guys. If those type of guys, it's just kind of one of those. I don't disagree because I know how difficult it is to be 40th to 35th, 35th to 30th. Like as you keep going down the ladder, it gets harder and harder and harder. I get that, but my question is like, do people and the people listening, like this is where I really want to know, like, do you think someone that was a 70th player in the world last year, right? Never really heard their name. And now they're a top 20 guy. Do you think that person is more deserving of most improved or someone that was 10th in the world last year and is now 3rd? That's kind of my,
the 70th to 30th is
And
definitely. I
Simon,
think that's where the award
Simon's
will
kind of in
go.
the middle. Simon's kind of in the middle, right? But
Yeah.
like, I don't see, like, to me though, like, I agree that it seems, I guess it's just the wording of most improved, because like, I feel like Simon should have got an award, but I don't know if most improved was the right award. I think his award should have been like most surprising season or most,
I think most
like,
improved works for Simon though, because like it depends. I think the difference in how I
I
view
just
it
feel like
versus
he
how other
always
people view it
had,
is like the value
I
of a
just,
win. Simon was never a player that was in conversation for wins. If
I
he
know,
was,
but
it was just because people were fanboys.
I just don't know if his skill level, like, I think he just improved. I think he improved on his decision making
That's all
and
skill.
in his gameplay. But to me, it's like he always was a top player.
He always had
Like,
top
he's,
talent, but he was never able to like put it into practice until this year. And that's in golf. Golf's just as much a mental sport as a physical sport. So you can have all the
I
physical
know.
talent in the world, but if you're
I
not
guess I'm
there
just,
mentally, you're not going to be a top
yeah,
guy.
I guess it's just hard for me to give it, like, it's harder for me to like to think about giving it to Simon. And the only reason is literally just because like he wasn't trash. It wasn't like he was a trash disc golfer and all of a sudden became a good disc golfer. And it wasn't like he was a good disc golfer and all of a sudden became a great disc
I
golfer.
can agree with that
Like,
statement.
I just feel like he was a really great disc golfer. The only
Yeah.
difference is he just found ways of winning this year where
Yeah.
like it's more. This is what I think. I think it's
We just
more
have to apply that logic to Gannon too,
I know.
because
I would
Gannon
say
was rookie
this.
of the year last year.
I think this is the easiest way of saying it. I think I'm more surprised by how little wins he had in the past than surprised that he won 4 times this year.
That's a fair statement too. I'm just saying if we're
I think
using the
that's what it
logic to
is.
give Gannon player of the year, rookie or most improved,
Yes.
then we have to use that logic for everyone. If you use that logic for
Correct.
everyone, it goes to Simon.
Simon, yes.
Yeah.
I agree. If you use the same logic, it goes to Simon versus
How can a
Gannon.
rookie of the year win most improved next year? Like rookie of the year is like the
that's
best.
my whole point.
You have the best season as a rookie that you can possibly have to win rookie of the year, and then it's like most improved. Like that doesn't make any sense especially when you have someone who goes from like never winning to 4 wins in the same season.
Yeah, I think that's my whole point. Is like it's just and maybe there wasn't someone that jumped out on the page this year. I mean, I just threw out Chandler Kramer and Gossage as like 2 guys that I think, people weren't really talking about last year. Obviously, Gossage did have a couple good finishes at like OTB, and there's one other event that he kind of popped off last year, but they still just weren't guys that people were like consistently talking about, to where now they are a little bit more household names. I think you do that when you put your name, you put your name in the basket of majors and competing at majors. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe there wasn't a player.
I mean, Corey Ellis probably could have been in the conversation.
Yes, Corey Ellis is a good one. Here's a question. If Matty O wins 3 times next year, is he the most improved player?
By the current standards?
By the current standards, he would probably get it.
It would be close. The tough part is Matty-O this year. It's not like Matty-O had the season Simon had last year. This year, Matty-O was constantly in the top 5, top 3. Like he was up there nonstop. It would be like if Calvin won 6 times.
Nicholas Antilla.
No, that'd be more of a Simon type thing.
That could have been a. No, I'm saying.
Or are you saying this year? I thought you were saying for next year. Yeah, Nicholas.
Corey Ellis jumps out at me.
Corey Ellis, he probably got snubbed there.
Alden Harris also is another person that kind of jumps out at me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying.
It's just like to me, it's tough to give. It's tough to think about most improved as like someone that
was already good and then just got a little better.
Because like, did Simon really have that terrible of a season last year?
Well, it depends on what you determine as terrible. No,
well,
a season-wise, no, he didn't have a terrible season, but he went from 0 wins to 4 wins.
No,
and
I know that.
Gannon had a decent season last year too, and went from a decent season to a better season with 1 win at a major. So like they both had decent seasons last year, improved their seasons this year. Difference is Simon had 4 wins, which outweighs, in my opinion, the slightly better average finish that Gannon had. Because again, if we're using the logic to make
Simon
Gannon
also
player
didn't even tour.
improved,
Simon didn't even tour that much last year.
he was injured, so you almost have to go back 2 years. If you go back 2 years, it really is in his favor.
So that's the other thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't know if I'm giving it to Simon. I think he deserves a award.
He deserves most improved player.
Okay, well, this is my perfect example. Can you be most? Like, is he just most improved because he was injured last year? Like, what the heck? Obviously, most improved.
No, you got to use context.
I just felt like Simon was always one of the top guys. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I think
in thinking that he wasn't.
People have name recognition of Simon because of YouTube and because he would get on coverage and do crazy things. The dude didn't win. Period. Like Simon has a overinflated essence of how good he was before this year because of how popular he was and how good he was at branding himself. He was one of the biggest names in the sport without being one of the best players in the sport. Now, best players, by that I mean he's not like a top 3-5. Yeah.
Can I jump in here real quick? 2020, again, he didn't tour that much, so I don't know what happened. Maybe he's still injured in 2020. He got 5th at Las Vegas, 7th at Memorial, 10th at DDO, 2nd at Preserve. Then he won a bunch of small tournaments.
We're gonna skip the 37th, 42nd, 69th, 26th.
Yeah. I'm going top finishes.
Okay. I was just making sure.
8th at Maple Hill and 2nd at the Silver Series main event. But he still didn't even that's not a full touring thing. What was going on? Why is he not doing full tours? Okay,
I don't know. 2020, did anyone do a full tour? It was COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dumb. 2019. Okay, this is more of a full tour for him. So he got 7th at Vegas, 2nd at Memorial, 10th at Waco, 7th at Jonesboro, 58th at DD or Glassblown, 2nd at Masters Cup, 3rd at Portland, 5th at Beaver State, 8th at Ledgestone, 2nd at President's Cup, 9th at European Open.
President's Cup doesn't count for anything.
8th at Worlds, 3rd at MVP, 5th at Smugglers. I don't know, man.
USDGC. Well, I mean, then we got to look into Gannon.
But I mean, you look at his season this year; it was the same thing. He just basically instead of his 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. No, I know
4 wins. That's
he had one of the more
trump card. 4 wins.
He had one of them. I'm not disagreeing. He had one of the more impressive seasons. Legitimately, he was
improved
probably
a lot. Some would say one of the most.
I don't know. It's again, how do you want to measure it?
Well, I agree.
Want to give it to the guy? Yes,
we want to give it to the. It's just because we gave it to Gannon. Is my whole thing.
I know.
If we're giving it to Gannon, we got to give it to Simon. But we shouldn't give it to either of them. We should give it to the person who came like a Corey Ellis or something like that. I fully agree with that.
Can we also we agree on this, right? Someone that cashes at every event goes from cashing at every event, having some top 5s, top 10s, to then going the next year doing the same thing, but now instead of those top 5s, top 10s, he gets 4 wins. That is a way bigger jump in improvement, right? Than someone that went from never cashing to cashing at every event.
Way smaller jump, you mean?
No, it's a bigger jump. That's harder to do.
Harder to do. Yeah.
The jump that requires to do that is harder to do than going from not cashing at all to cashing.
Yes.
But
I don't know what point you're making.
No. My point is, so we both agree, what Simon did this year was harder to do than someone that was just not doing anything to starting to cash. But again, it's just when you think about most improved player, and again, you think about other sports, it would be tough to give. A top 10 quarterback in the NFL most improved player because he won the Super Bowl.
Well, as long as they were solid the year before. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If he was a consistent top 10 quarterback his entire career.
Yeah. No, he would not get most improved.
And then he won the Super Bowl. It'd be hard for you if you said like, well, he most improved player this year. People would be like, what? Because there are
Yeah,
so many people that just literally, I guess the eye test, it's just way easier to give most improved to like
I agree.
a Chandler Kramer, someone that no one had any idea who this person was. I don't even know if they toured last year, so maybe he should have won Rookie of the Year. Who knows? But like, it's just, I think eyeball test. It's easier to see like this guy didn't cash at all, and now he's getting top 10 finishes.
Yeah.
Like that jump, even though we both know skill wise is easier to make that huge jump. And it's the same thing with ratings. If you're out there and you're playing and you start your rating at 910, and that's where your baseline is, you're going to be able to improve to 960, 970 really quickly. Like you're going to
Yeah.
be able to get there in maybe a month or two. But then to get from 970 to 1,000, that might take you a year. And you might
Yeah.
never ever get there. So like as you go further up, it gets harder and harder. But okay, enough about that.